news, T.O.P has now finished training and will serve as a police officer in Gangnam.
In the latest in K-pop or K-pop military news, T.O.P or T.O.P has a new job. A police officer in the police station in Gangnam. I don't know exactly how far back we knew that T.O.P was going to become a police officer in the military, but he has, and we found out. We're talking about it now. What have you heard?
Well, first off, this is not the only newest military news because Seo and Gook just left for military service without making any formal announcement.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's that. But we've known for a long time that T.O.P was going into the police force because they actually test for that before they enter the military. There's an academic test and there's also a physical test. We don't necessarily know where they're going to get stationed beforehand within the area of South Korea or the area of Seoul, but so that's new information.
Police stations in Korea, for your reference, are generally very, very small buildings, or they're extra large buildings if they're sort of headquarters in a particular province, because that's where the court and all of the prosecutors and all the different types of attorneys that are sponsored by the government will also have their offices. So in other words, I don't know if he's in one of the really small stations or one of the really, really big stations, but it makes me wonder how he's going to, for instance, get to work in the morning. Like, is he going to take public transportation? Because, for instance, if he's working at one of them really small police stations, he's gonna cause a stir because he's one of the biggest K-pop stars on the planet. I mean, this guy is way more suited for K-pop than he is for any type of police work, and the type of police work that he's probably going to be doing is minimal. Like, he's not really going to be making any sort of significant impact in terms of police work.
I'm wondering if you even read the article, because they actually talk about where he's going to be headquartered and exactly what he is going to be doing.
Well, I'm talking more specifically about how the building looks visually. Did the article talk about how big or small the building is?
No.
Did it talk about the parking? Is it underground parking or is it parking right? Because some of the police stations, or most of the police stations in Korea, if you remember correctly, is parking right on the side of the building because the parking lot's small and the building's small. And this is because there isn't actually a whole heck of a lot of crime happening other than some like domestic abuse cases which happen all over the world. Korea deals with those too. But in terms of real police, like all sorts of things on the streets, that's not Korea. Korea's a pretty safe place. Gangnam is like New York City. If he's gonna be walking to work, because the article did say, and yes, by the way, I did read the article, that his family and he lives in the area, so he's already familiar with that area. What's gonna be happening? Like, he's gonna be on the streets walking into the police station and people are gonna be camped out in front of this particular police station every day.
Well, he's going to be working at the Gangnam Public Relations Office.
Okay.
So that is the specific building that he is going to be working for there, and he is working as a police officer there, but he's also a special member of the police band. So his job is going to be part of the band, probably singing for the band, doing public relations work, and generally working for free, promoting South Korea and performing and supporting the police force and the Gangnam Public Relations.
So when he has a performance on Friday night or on the weekend or something like that, where he's called to go and perform, that's when he'll be doing his work, but otherwise he'll be required to sit at an office desk and look busy.
Well, yes.
Because that is what they do.
Yes, he'll be doing that a lot. Also, though, there's other members of different K-pop bands who have ended up in doing police work that's similar to what he's doing, and they ended up working at like the protests as just the walls and actually working on the ground in the protests, trying to calm that or make sure that everything stays calm.
Now that's completely different from what you previously described as him being a performer. There are tons of those guys. I mean, you see them everywhere, especially if you're a tourist and you go to visit Seoul and you go into the center where the big statue of the old king and the warrior is in front of Gyeongbuk Palace. There's police officers everywhere, also the U.S. Embassy's right there. I mean, there's thousands of police officer presence there. There's tons of work for him doing that. But then you wouldn't want him doing that either because he would be standing out vulnerable.
But I mean, if you have a lot
or maybe
of...
nobody would even know he was there. He would just be wearing the yellow and the black.
And they're wearing like the different face masks and stuff like that. So you don't necessarily know who it is, and he can go quote unquote incognito. Different Super Junior members, for example, they've been known to actually end up getting that position or that job in their police work.
Who wants to go see the police band? I mean, who's signing up for that? They give those tickets out for free.
Well, no, the police band are the groups who perform at things like international meetings, dinners, different embassy things. They're going to perform there. They're not going to perform so much for the entertainment of the general public. They're not selling out concert tickets. It's representing Korea and Korean entertainment culture. So I actually think it's a good job for him. I know for me personally, if I had to serve the military and they were like, hey, we want you to be in the band and working as a police officer in an area that you're very familiar with, I'd be like, okay, sign me up, I'll do that. That sounds great. Because I know for me personally, I'm not the toughest person.
If it's a requirement, then yes, of course, that's a very good place to be told that you have to go and work and serve your time. I think he probably knew that this was what he was going to do way prior to it being announced publicly.
Well, and there's been a lot of speculation as YG pulling strings to get him in that position. I really don't know, and I don't want to jump to conclusions to say that is the case or that's not the case. What I will say is that T.O.P has gone above and beyond already with public relations and representing Korea, and he's such a well-known face and name that has definitely improved Korea's image internationally for so many years that I personally feel he almost deserves this position in the military.
And the Korean government is very, very lucky at this moment in time to have him as one of their representatives. Who's a fan of T.O.P? Comments. Are you excited about this position that he has now attained, having to do his military service as a police officer in the police band?
Well, he'll be there until November 2018. I can only imagine the people who are going to be going to Gangnam now, like, scanning all the police officers, trying to find T.O.P.
Yeah, no kidding. Click the like button, you guys. Comments down below. Give us your reaction to this. Thank you so much for supporting us. Click the bell for notifications. Check out the link to KGAL in the description. And don't forget to subscribe for more HallyuBack news. That's it. We're out of here. Hasta luego.
Bye.